Dire Team Ban.
Hello everyone and welcome to Semi-Pro Cup Series. I of course am Niz. I'm going to be your host and shoutcaster for tonight. Running a little bit late tonight. We're starting off in the semifinals, so we're only going to have two games tonight.
Remaining.
But we got to see a little bit of the quarterfinals there. I threw it up on the stream so you guys could see it as we were waiting. But it was a pretty close one between YTD and the Monkey Kings. And YTD, I don't know how, but they had a pretty damn big Dragon Knight.
Radiant
and
Team Ban.
They were trying to push base and they failed 3 different times. I don't want to say failed. They were denied 3 different times by the Monkey Kings. And the Monkey Kings was a group of like Ratchop, Tolera, those guys. So they were up against a pretty formidable opponent.
10 seconds.
But yeah, that game was kind of back and forth there for a bit. Seems like the Monkey Kings just never wanted to give up. They were always just hanging around. But YTD did
reserve time.
YTS. No, it is YTD. What am I talking about? YTD. They did prevail and they did advance to the semifinals where we are now. And they're going to be going up against Team QQQ, which we've definitely seen before. These guys typically go late into the tournament as well. Well, we've got the bans in the draft quite a bit along, as we have Sniper and Batrider getting banned out by YTD, and Troll and Shadow Fiend were banned out by QQQ. That allowed Vengeful Spirit and Storm Spirit to get picked up by QQQ. Juggernaut and Queen of Pain were picked up by YTD. Then the bans came out. We had Skywrath and Slark getting banned out by YTD, and now Lion and Sand King getting banned out by QQQ. Lion and Sand King were actually the 2 supports that YTD ran last game, so Exiled and Jugs are going to have to look to play something different this time around. But we've already got the Storm Spirit against Queen of Pain potential matchup in the mid lane. Be interesting to see if either team tries to move away from that. But now we've got a Drill Ranger on the board. So we already have 2 ranged heroes on the side of QQQ. Drill Ranger is going to add a 3rd, but also increase the damage of those heroes quite a bit by her aura. So expect those heroes to be hitting pretty damn hard. And Storm Spirit's actually one of those heroes that's kind of good against Dro, because Dro is a hero similar to Sniper that's weak when you jump on her. So any hero that's able to close that gap quickly is typically strong against Dro Ranger. The one downside to it is, well, Dro Ranger has a silence, and Storm doesn't like silences. But either way, we're not going to see that. What we are going to see is potentially the Queen of Pain trying to jump in. It's a little bit different because Queen of Pain, once she's blown her blink, she's pretty vulnerable for the duration of that cooldown. But now we have Shadow Shaman as well on board, so they're getting a little bit more CC coming out from one of their supports here, and that'll help them lock down Storm Spirit if they were able to stop him ball lightning around. Look for Queen of Pain. Actually, both Queen of Pain and Storm Spirit most likely will be building Orchid this game. But look for Queen of Pain to get hers up, silence the Storm Spirit, and that's going to allow Shadow Shaman to get in there and start CCing. Now that we have a Spirit Breaker, it's actually going to be really, really important to Shadow Shaman's positioning, because when Spirit Breaker's charging in, you want to be able to CC him so that he's not able to stun up his target. And you can do that with Shackle Shot, but ideally you want to be using Hex because it's instant.
10 seconds
and
remaining.
You know, you could say Shackle Shot, or not Shackle Shot, Shackle, whatever it's called, Shackles is kind of instant, but it's not as quick as Hex. Hex is like immediate. There's pretty much no cast time, whereas everything else, such as Shackles, although it may appear instant, it does have a slight cast time, and that's actually pretty important when you're trying to catch something like a Storm Spirit jumping around, or trying to catch a Spirit Breaker as he's charging in, and he may only be within cast range, because you're either getting stunned or he's out of cast range most of the time. So you may only be within cast range for a split second, and that's why it's pretty important to get that timing out there as quick as possible for the Hex. But the Spirit Breaker is going to make it quite interesting for... Well, I'm going to... Part of me wants to say the Queen of Pain, But it means that the Queen of Pain is going to kind of be kept honest. When the Spirit Breaker is missing, Queen of Pain isn't really going to be able to go aggressive. If she does, and she uses her blink, and she gets charged, she's pretty much dead. So she has to be really wary of that. I'm assuming the Spirit Breaker is going to be in the off lane. However, he could still be run as support, and that'll actually change it up quite a bit. That'll mean the off laner and the Queen of Pain have to be a little bit careful. But we don't know who that off laner is going to be yet. The one thing of, or I guess the one downside of putting your Spirit Breaker in the off lane is you already know you're going up against Juggernaut Shadow Shaman, and that means your other support is going to be able to move around and do whatever the hell he wants. Because Shadow Shaman is going to be able to solo zone out the Spirit Breaker, and if Spirit Breaker does get greedy, Shadow Shaman and Juggernaut are going to be able to kill him. But it's going to be a Phoenix, and I assume that is going to be an off-lane Phoenix, so they're still going to pick out their support. However, Axe does get banned out by QQQ, so they're thinking that Phoenix might be support, and even if he isn't support, they want to make sure that Axe isn't a potential. Visage getting banned out by YTD. So now we're just moving on to the last picks here, where QQQ is either looking for an offlaner or a support. We don't know where that Spirit Breaker is going to be. We actually don't know who's going to be mid. We can assume that it's going to be Storm Spirit, but it could be Drow, and they could slide their Storm Spirit to the safe lane because it's going up against the Queen of Pain. As for YTD, we know the Queen of Pain most likely is going to be in the mid lane. However, it could slide that to the off lane. We know Juggernaut and Shadow Shaman are going to be safe lane. We don't know if the Phoenix is off lane or support. So they could be looking to pick up pretty much anything, either an offlaner, or sorry, either a mid or a support. So offlaner support for offlaner or support for QQQ, and a mid laner or support for YTD. Looking over at chat, Mr. Sizzle says, I hope Dyer pick Lifestealer just because it would be funny. Now, actually, there was a Lifestealer pick in a game I was watching yesterday? Maybe 2 days ago? I don't even remember who the teams were, but it was a pro game, and Lifestealer was picked. I was just as surprised as you. I actually think Lifestealer is probably the weakest hero in Dota right now. And I know certain people don't agree with me on that, but I mean, I don't like the hero to begin with, but on top of that, I think he's just so useless right now. But Chen is going to be the pick, so the Spirit Breaker will be the offlaner.
10 seconds remaining.
And they'll add the support Chen.
5 seconds remaining.
And that's kind of interesting, because I don't feel like Eventual Spirit's going to be able to solo zone a Phoenix. And now we have Treant Protector getting picked up. Huh. I really wonder if that is going to be an off lane. Treant Protector? No, it looks like it's going to be an off lane Phoenix. Either way, let's introduce the teams and the players. On the Radiant side, we have Team YTD playing their roster. The Shadow Shaman is going to be exiled. Playing the Queen of Pain is going to be Sneaks. Playing the Juggernaut is going to be Defucked. Playing the Phoenix is going to be Jugs. And playing the Treant Protector is going to be Lonely Boy. As for the Dire side, we have Team QQQ. Playing their Chen is going to be Shanks. Playing the Vengeful Spirit is going to be whatever. And the Storm Spirit is going to be Burning DD. Playing the Drow Ranger is unfortunately going to be some Chinese name that I'm not going to be able to read. And playing the Spirit Breaker is going to be AJ. As for starting items, we've got Boots first on the Juggernaut, so he's going to be able to play pretty damn aggressive up against that Spirit Breaker. And besides that, we've got a set of sentries out on the Chen, but that's pretty standard. And we got a smoke up on the roster. Everything else seems pretty normal thus far. As for a warding situation, we already got a ward placed up in the top lane to help protect that Phoenix. Dire choosing to ward up the top rune. That's interesting. We'll get to that in a second. As looks like the top rune's going to be claimed by the Storm Spirit, and bottom's going to get claimed by the Queen of Pain. So both mid laners getting their bounty runes. Actually, it's really surprising that both teams are warding. Typically, here, how do I phrase this? Typically, you want one ward that's going to protect your offlaner, and they've done that. You don't always have to spend this ward, but they chose to do it here. So you want one that's gonna kind of help your offlaner get as much as possible, and this is the downside to it. It's very easy to counter sometimes. But then your other ward, typically what you want to do is have that other observer ward. So in this case, Dire placed it in the top lane, which is a little surprising and unusual, because you want it to be your other ward. You want the one that spots the rune. You want it to be between your mid hero and their tri lane, because that's the direction the ganks are going to be coming from. Even though smoke is used a lot early on, you still want that ward to be able to spot those rotations. So both sides actually electing to not go with that and put their observer wards in the opposite side. Radiant's a little bit more understandable because they are going up against a Spirit Breaker, and this helps spot the direction the gank is coming from, because, I mean, most likely the Spirit Breaker charging is going to be part of a kill on the Queen of Pain in the mid lane. But surprising that that Radiant's electing to not put their observer ward up there. But it's a little thing, but it's one of those things that might be worth pointing out if there's a potential rotation coming out from the Dire side to gank mid, or from the Radiant side to gank mid. Excuse me.
An article of faith.
Well, we got the top rune claimed by the Chen. The bottom rune still left there. It's going to be a haste. Actually didn't point out the lanes exactly. We got Spirit Breaker in the bottom lane going up against the Treant Protector, the Juggernaut, and the Rasta. In the mid lane, it's the Queen of Pain versus the Storm Spirit matchup. Up in the top lane, it was Vengeful Spirit, but she's rotated away from there, with the Drow Ranger going up against the Phoenix, and of course Chen's going to be sitting in the jungle. But now, whatever's moved to the mid lane on the Vengeful Spirit, and unfortunately now we're going to have a pause, lag, Kale coming out from the Dire side here, so hopefully that'll clear up in just a second. But whatever rotated down towards the mid lane, and this is interesting. This might be them potentially setting up a kill onto the Queen of Pain with the Spirit Breaker charge. I think they realize here that AJ is going to get forced out of lane here for a second, because his lane is pushing very, very quickly. And maybe he'll have to back. Unfortunately, whatever just moved down for this bottom rune, and he just got scouted by actually this observer, where they were able to spot up onto the high ground the Vengeful Spirit as she was standing on the edge of the ramp there. So they do know the Vengeful Spirit is there, and now exiled with not only that haste, but he has used the smoke. He's drawn on the map that he's going to be coming in behind the Storm Spirit, but he's electing just to maybe just stand in the lane, maybe run straight at him. He does have haste, but haste actually wore off now. And unfortunately, another pause coming out. But YTD looking to get a gank here onto the Storm Spirit, but they need to be careful. I think they know that whatever is kind of hanging around the mid lane, they don't know exactly where she is, but I think they are aware that whatever is going to be close by. What they may not know is that Shanks is so close as well. It's hard to actually know where Chen is going to be in the jungle at different times. Some junglers you'll actually know if you played against them enough and you've studied how the jungling works on heroes like that. You'll actually know roughly where they'll be in the jungle. Chen, one of those heroes that not so much. You know which camp he most likely will be stacking, but you don't know for sure. So you know this is the camp that Chen's going to stack 9 times out of 10. So you know they could be around there, but you don't know for sure. Either way, Sneaks is going to jump onto Burning DD. Exiles open up as well. Get the shackle off. Whatever's there to kind of help his buddy, but he's just there too late.
Just a little.
And there's going to be absolutely no return damage coming out. any damage that was potentially going to be done was removed or prevented by the Treant Protector armor. We got Jugs, who dropped quite low, but he will healing salve himself up. AJ was charging from the bottom lane, but he's pretty far away, and he'll have to just cancel that, as by the time he got there, the Phoenix would have been back up to full HP, and it would have probably been a suicide charge anyways into the enemy team. Jugs will now move back up to the top lane. He only has 2 CS, but yeah, level 3s, he's kind of been shut out a little bit here. Let's compare him up against AJ, who's actually got less XP and only 1 CS, so Phoenix actually doing a little bit better. I'm just kind of underestimating, or I guess overestimating how much XP these offlaners should have at this point in the game, but Exiles made a rotation up to the top, and they've baited in this Drow Ranger. Good play from them, recognizing how this Drow's been playing up on the onto Jugs, and this is going to allow them to get a kill. So that's exactly what the Phoenix wanted to happen there. Is he's now in a pretty good position, because not only is he going to be able to get the XP here from this lane while he's not getting zoned out, but he's going to be able to get some last hits as well. So a little bit of gold under his belt. See there, the bottom lane's been completely relentless, making sure that AJ gets absolutely nothing, pushing him way past the tower. While that kill in the top on the Drow was going on, they were pushed up all the way past here onto AJ with the creep wave. But Defuct has been well, out farming the Drow quite a bit. 10 CS ahead already. Obviously he got a little bit there while the Drow was dead. But maybe the Drow just missing a little bit of CS. It is a little hard to last hit on the Drow really early in the game. Those first 2 levels can kind of be a pain because our attack animation is not desirable. But maybe she was just playing a little bit more aggressive, trying to zone out this Phoenix, as she was out there by herself. It was pretty much a 1v1 lane, because whatever had been sitting mid for quite some time. But he is going to make his way back up top right now. He's going to walk past this Observer Ward, so Exiled knows he's there. However, I don't think whatever knows that Exiled's there. And they do know that Sneaks is making a rotation up, and they'll actually go back to their tower. I think there might have been potential there for whatever to come out and Exiled be able to open up from here. But with Sneak's rotation and, well, this Observer Ward showing that, then they were able to back away. But now, Sneaks and Exiled will try to wrap around onto the mid lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Burning DD knows exactly what's up, as he's just going to back away and head down to the bottom rune. And no, he'll just go right back to mid. I was thinking that he might try to go to bottom lane. We have a TP up into the top lane from the Storm Spirit, as he's going to look to try and turn this one around. As Jugs taking quite a bit of damage. He will get hexed up by Exiled, and I think this will allow his offlaner to live, and indeed it will. So Exiled, a noble sacrifice there, sacrificing himself for the betterment of the team. So the Phoenix would survive there. So good play from him. Allows Sneaks to get a little bit of damage in on the mid lane, but Queen of Pain not the best at right-clicking down towers, but she will try to clear the creep wave as fast as possible. Did just miss a kill in the bottom lane, where Defuct managed to get a kill onto AJ. He had a little bit of help there from Lonely Boy, but he used Omni Slash to do so. They will get the tower on the back of it. Whatever, not able to deny that. He had to play pretty safe there and make sure that his positioning was sound rather than actually go for that deny on the tower. What's going on? I can't click on the minimap. Okay, now I can.
What sort of prize is this?
I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but whatever, we fixed it. Just start spamming keys when nothing works, and suddenly it fixes things. But either way, we got Jugs up in the top lane. He's just going to be pushing this and forcing it onto the tower. Drow is actually playing pretty conservatively. She's hiding up into the tower there. And she's a little wary of someone potentially jumping on her, which is a little surprising considering Sneaks and Exiled had both been showing in the middle lane. Just not really sure what she was so scared of. Jugs venturing all the way into the dire jungle, trying to find Chen. And he'll just actually Icarus dive away. And will he actually go back? No, he won't. He's going to just throw some fire spirits onto the mid lane where Burning DD is just kind of standing, waiting for the creep wave to eventually come to his tower. And here it comes. So he'll try to pull that back away from the tower and try to keep his tower alive as much as he can. But I don't think there's any chance that the Radiant's going to engage here. However, we did have a charge from AJ onto Exiled, and he'll actually choose to cancel that. Shank's almost done his mech. He's got about 500 gold to go before he's able to purchase that recipe and complete it. As for AJ, how's he doing? Almost has his treads. He does have an orb of venom, so he's able to slow his targets down, which can be a little bit of a pain. You typically can charge in really fast, and then you can lock them down with your ult, and if you've timed it right, you're going to have another charge coming up pretty soon. But if you're actually not able to be charging or ulting, you have a really hard time sticking on your opponents. They always seem to run too damn fast for you to get those right clicks off. So the Orb of Venom's going to help him out there. Shanks and whatever have smoked up, and they are going to look to make their way towards the mid lane to potentially go on the heroes that are here. And here we go. Burning DD is going to jump on into Sneaks, but they're just going to turn it around, and Burning DD is going to go down before his teammates even get there. They will get a return kill onto Exile. AJ comes charging in, stuns up Sneaks, but huge overgrowth coming out from Lonely Boy as he's going to lock down everyone on the Dire side. That's going to allow them to get the kill onto Shanks. Now Sneak's going to go pressing forward, trying to get more. Unfortunately not able to do so. Nice micro here coming up from the Chen, getting the double Centaur stomp off onto Sneaks. And that should allow his teammates to get on out of there safely. But a definite advantage there coming out for YTD, as they not only got the kill onto the Storm Spirit, but then were able to get the kill onto the Chen. I think Burning DD maybe just jumped a little bit too early onto Sneaks there, and maybe he just didn't realize the kind of damage and CC that was going to be coming out from the Radiant side. I'm not exactly sure how they were able to lock him down. I believe it led with the Hex, which is exactly what I was mentioning in the draft. As sometimes Burning DD and other Storm Spirit players will just jump on in and think that they're going to be able to get another ball lightning off before they're able to get CC'd. But sometimes you get a little bit too, you position yourself a little bit off, and that's going to allow a Hex to come out. And I believe that's what we saw coming out from Exiled. Now he's going to drop the Serpent Wards in the top lane to get some damage down onto this tier 1 tower, and this should be falling. Shanks is coming up here to defend. He does have the trio of Centaurs. And the tier 1 tower will go down. However, we've got a charge onto Exiled here, so AJ's coming on in. And I think this is going to be a dead Rasta. He is going to charge through the Serpent Wards, but he's going to get too far away. Jugs is going to manage to get a return kill onto the Vengeful Spirit. However, he's going to get completely shut down by the Drow Ranger that was sitting in behind. So with the silence and those frost arrows, he had no chance of getting away. So they lose 2 heroes for that Rax, and actually it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Or that tower, sorry, not Rax. AJ getting sent home by his Chen. So overall, I wish that showed the whole thing, the tower gold and the hero kills. But unfortunately, the fight recap useless once again. Doesn't show us exactly what happened, but we do have the opportunity now to switch on over to the net worth and see exactly where we stand in this game. And it looks YTD favored. We're about 4,000 gold ahead right now. As we look at the XP graph, it's a little bit less of a lead, about 2,000, 2,500 or so. But enough of that. We got a charge onto the mid lane, onto Sneaks from AJ. And, whoa, Sneaks is actually going to be able to survive on just 30 HP. And that's going to allow them to turn us around. They already got the kill on the Venge. Now the Spirit Breaker is going to go down. And on top of that, they're going to get the tower. I don't know how the hell Sneak stayed alive. Obviously, there was a nice overgrowth coming out from Lonely Boy to lock down the opponents. But maybe it was a Leech Seed. I didn't see a living armor up onto Sneaks, but I could have missed that. Either way, he did manage to survive with 30 HP. So close. I think, obviously, Dire would have loved to have killed the Queen of Pain there, but even if they got the kill on the Queen of Pain, it was still not going to work out for them. They were still losing 2 heroes and a tower. Arguably, it would have been... it would have put them in a better position than they are now. Either way, Roche will fall. Aegis will go on to the Juggernaut.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We got the Drow attacking the tower in the top lane, and looks like Chen's going to come on up here to join. We do have a TP coming in from Sneaks, and that's going to force them back. He's not even going to go forward. I don't think they really... he saw the Chen creep, so I don't think he was really too worried about any kind of CC. But I guess he didn't know where... Well, he knew Burning DD was mid. He knew the Vengeful Spirit was mid as well. I think AJ was showing bottom. Oh well, playing it a little bit safe. Either way, AJ charging right through Defuct, and now he's in a little bit of a bad situation for him. Omni Slash is on cooldown, but it's not looking like it's going to be necessary. AJ is just gonna feed after the YOLO charge.
I do suffer fools.
He obviously had no idea that the Juggernaut was going to be there, and kind of met him into the jungle, and then he realized, well, I can't really charge into the tower. This is not going to work out for me. My best bet is to cancel now and just deal with the Jug. But he pretty much had no chance of getting out of there. Similar to Shanks right now. Pretty much no chance that he's going to get on out of there. His teammates are close, but they are running away from him. They were not coming to save him at all. Well, let's take a quick cycle through our items and see where we stand with everyone. We've got Exiled with his Tranquils. It's 1,700 gold. Almost has that Blink Dagger up. Lonely Boy. He's got his Arcane Boots and a bunch of support items. Sneaks has one Oblivion Staff, so working towards the Orchid. Defuct has the S&Y and a Point Booster and a Morbid Mask. Jugs has gone Tranquils, Urn, Hand of Midas.
Tower is under attack.
As for Dire's side, looks like actually we're going to have a trade here. Oh, they have spotted out Exile. Exile's going to be in trouble here. This is going to set him back from his Blink for sure. But have they committed a little too far? No, only Lonely Boy was the one TPing on in. So the bottom Radiant Tier 1, I can't even speak.
Tower is under attack.
Tier 1 tower will go down. And will this be a trade, or will they come back and be able to defend their Tier 2? Doesn't look like they are, so it is going to be a trade. As for our Dire side heroes, we've got Burning DD with 2,200 gold, but hasn't really chosen a path yet, whether he's going to be going for the Orchid or the Bloodstone. He's going to try to TP away, but little does he know that Lonely Boy was sitting there in Viz, will use the Overgrowth to lock him down, and now Burning DD with no mana is going to try to run on away, but there's pretty much no hope in hell that he was going to get out of there. So he's going to go down, and with that kill, Sneaks has enough gold to purchase his Orchid. So we know exactly what the Queen of Pain's going, and Storm, okay, he bought the Bloodstone recipe right before he died, so we know that. We also know that he's got the Point Booster, so he probably didn't lose too much gold with that death. Actually, we can see 80, yeah, okay. I don't think he lost too much gold. I'm trying to do the math in my head. But yeah, we do have that Orchid online, and we do know what the Storm's going for. As for his other allies, we've got the mech up onto Shanks, AJ, just Urn, Orb of Venom, and now just completing those treads. Hasn't really made too much item progression the last little bit. And last but not least, our Drow Rangers got the Yasha, the treads, and a Morbid Mask. Also a Ring of Aquila, that's worth pointing out as well. It's about 1,000 gold item there. So it can never be underestimated. AJ's charging down into the bottom lane onto Jugs. And this is going to be one dead Phoenix. He's going to try to Icarus dive away, most likely on the back of this. However, he is to silence up. He's not even going to get a chance. With Burning DD jumping on in there and using the Electric Vortex. Yeah, I got it right. He'll be able to lock down that Phoenix, and there was pretty much no way he was going to be able to jump away.
Dire's top tower is
Looks like we may have a trade here. Nope. Radiant valuing their Tier 1 tower, and will TP back with Sneaks, Lonely Boy, and Viz. Once again, coming in from behind, drops the Overgrowth, just lands on Shanks, who will look to TP away, but his TP will not go off fast enough. Shanks letting go of the Sonic Wave, and that's going to secure them the kill there. AJ now charging, not to the heroes in the mid lane, but the heroes in the top lane. It's going to be on to Exiled, who did just claim that top Tier 2 tower, did drop his Serpent Wards, so he doesn't have that available to him now. He will hex up AJ, but unfortunately, that last auto attack coming out from Burning DD will get the kill. However, will Burning DD be able to get on out of here? Well, whatever, used the swap to keep his teammate alive, and Burning DD backing Warrens right into the Serpent Ward, so those will get the kill. Exiled, a death, or a kill from the grave. Now Defuct trying to chase down AJ. He's So slow. He doesn't have a hope in hell of getting away. Those maims coming out from the S and Y just completely slowing down that Spirit Breaker. And what looked like a good kind of... I guess it looked like the Dire side was punishing Exiled for pushing that top tier 2 tower. And they were able to lock down that kill on him. However, it ended up in them just going too far, and there was a nice turnaround there from Team YTD, allowing them to get the 3-for-1 trade, as well as the tower. So it's 3 and a tower for 1. That's a pretty damn good trade if you're the Radiant side. See what that did to our gold graph. They're now over 10,000 gold lead for YTD. So they're looking pretty in this game so far. 7,500 XP lead as well. See what our farm rates are looking like here. We got 559 GPM on the Juggernaut, 467 on the Queen of Pain, and that both of those are going to be higher than the Drow right now. It's just at 438. Well, it looks like Radiant's going to gather in the bottom lane here to put some pressure onto this tier 2. The Dire has kind of grouped up here in their jungle. There's 3 of them there. Well, now Lonely Boy using that invis, trying to hunt out here. They will find the courier. It had 2,000 gold item on it. I believe that was actually probably 2 separate items for... No, it wouldn't be...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know what's on the courier. Either way, we are going to have this push on the tier 2 tower. Dire's going to look for the trade again with this tier 1 tower. I don't think Radiant's going to come back to defend it this time, though. As they're not only going to press this tier 2, but I imagine they're going to keep pushing to the high ground and force their opponents to come back. Looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Sneak's just throwing out those Shadow Strikes. Get as much damage as he can onto the opponents here. And look, they're all going to back. This is going to allow Sneaks to potentially get the deny on the tower. Burning DD jumps on in. I don't know how that auto attack didn't get the kill on the tower, but it left it with basically 0 HP. I didn't even see a sliver on the bar. Sneaks actually was able to chase down Shanks and get the kill there. But they're still beating away on this tier 3 tower with the Serpent Wards down. AJ will charge on in. Exiled will get CC'd on up. We do have the Supernova coming out from the Phoenix, dealing a ton of damage here as it's going to explode in just a second. Now the Sun Ray is going to deal a ton. That's going to get them the kill onto AJ. And now Icarus dives, going to dive forward, but he's not going to cancel it as he realized he was going a little bit too deep. And now it looks like everyone's gone too deep, but maybe not. As Sneaks arrives on the scene, that's going to get them the kill onto the Burning DD. He's going to charge forward, going to go after the Drow Ranger. Doesn't have enough range to go after the Venge, but Burning DD will buy back, jump on in. That's going to get them the kill onto Sneaks. Sneaks had a godlike streak. So that's going to be a lot of gold going the way of Burning DD. We see him all the way back up to 2,100. I imagine with that buyback, he was pretty damn close to 0. We can actually see his reliable gold up to 1,600. So he earned probably the majority of that in with that buyback and that kill onto Sneaks. Or, yeah, Sneaks, sorry. So they won't lose their racks. It did cost them quite a bit. Mainly that buyback on the Storm Spirit, and you know what? Storm's going to be getting quite a bit of gold in this game. He's going to be doing quite a bit of farming. The problem is he doesn't have any items. The items that he does have were on the courier, which is dead. So, I mean, he's going to have his Bloodstone once that courier respawns in 35 seconds. The problem is he's got nothing. He's at 8,000 net worth right now, which is actually lower than the enemy's offlaner in the Phoenix. I can't click on my minimap again. What is going on?
To the swift, the spoilers. Now.
Oh. Oh, okay. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I am using a new mouse, but I didn't have any problems the other day when I was using it, and certainly didn't have any problems playing or anything like that. So I don't know. Whatever. I'll try to troubleshoot that a little bit later. Hopefully it won't rear its ugly head again. But now it looks like both teams are going to be posturing up around the Roche pit, as neither team knows exactly when he's going to be spawning. He's going to be spawning soon. Whatever comes out drops a sentry ward, but he finds Lonely, and well, Lonely's not a lonely boy this time, as he's got his entire team behind him. That's going to get them the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. They're also going to get the kill on Ralph the Alpha Wolf, which was scouting out the Roche pit there, trying to spot when Roche is going to respawn. And without that, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to know exactly when Roche is going to be up. They do a little bit of counter warding here. And now Dire completely in the dark as we can switch on over to their vision. They can't see a damn thing on this map outside of what their creeps can see and this little ward that's about to expire right now. As for the Radiant, they've got a ton of vision around the Roche pit. They can see pretty much every single angle, as I'm drawing on the minimap, every single angle their opponents can come from. So they're in a pretty damn good spot. However, those observer wards do not help against smoke, which I imagine is going to come out right now. There it is, coming out from QQQ, as they're going to make their way down towards the Roche pit. However, they're already working on Roche right now. They don't have the minus armor that the Dire side has through the Vengeful Spirit. Well, here we go. Roche down to about half HP. We are going to have it engaged before. So winner of this will take the Aegis. Exile is going to go down. Sneak's going down as well. This is looking like a disaster for YTD as Shanks and AJ are focusing down Defuct, but Shanks will be the one that goes down now. We've got the silence coming up from the Drow Ranger, silencing down the Juggernaut so he's not able to get anything out. Off, sneaks from the high ground, throws out the Sonic Wave, and then jumps in with the Scream of Pain. But he will just get the kill onto the Drow, and it will cost him his life. So, huge fight for Team QQQ as they walk away with the 2 for 5 and a buyback trade there on top of the Roche. That was a huge fight for them. We see just how big of a gold swing it was as well. At about 6,300 gold swing in their favor. And add the Roche gold onto that as well. The Aegis will actually go on to AJ, so he'll be able to kind of do those YOLO charges, those suicide charges in to initiate the fight. But absolutely huge fight. I'm going to take a look at the gold graph here. It was over 10k in favor of YTD. We're going to have to wait for this to update in just a little bit. There we go. Valve said they were going to do it instantly, and they said that in a patch, but it just, unfortunately, it doesn't update instantly. But it comes all the way down to about a 4,000 net worth lead for YTD. That was a huge fight for QQQ. Now they're looking to get a little bit of it back as Exiled's going to catch out whatever with Jugs and Lonely Boy there. Shanks wanted to come in and help his teammate, but he realized that it was a losing battle. The Vengeful Spirit was dead. There was pretty much no way he was going to survive there, even if he laid out the Hand of God, which was still on cooldown, but he did have the mech available to him. Speaking of mech, let's cycle through all our items again. Exiled has picked up that Blink Dagger and added a Force Staff onto it as well. Sneaks, I keep getting it wrong. Sneaks, I keep getting the two mixed up. Sneaks will get pick up an Egg Scepter. There we go. My goodness, I'm just fails all over the place tonight. He will add an Egg Scepter onto his Orchid. What do we got onto Defuct? He still has that S&Y. He's added a Scotty as well and an Ogre Club, so most likely building towards a BKB, which he could use right now as Burning DD is going to jump on in, use the Electric Vortex, but a huge Sonic Wave will come out, land onto 3. That's going to force out the God's Hand. Now we're going to have the Supernova, but they've got no way of right-clicking down this Phoenix. It means it's going to go off. He's going to be reborn. AJ's going to go down as well. That's going to cost them the Aegis as well. Chen going down from the Flame Spirits, or maybe from the Icarus Dive, I guess. As Exile's now going to get jumped on as well. He uses Serpent Wards in the bottom lane to get some damage onto the racks. Looks like they got the range racks, but the melee racks will just barely survive on 70 HP. So I know we weren't casting the quarterfinals, but unfortunately this is kind of what it looked like when YTD wanted to push the base. They were in a pretty commanding lead. Looked like they were in a bigger lead than this, and they were trying to push the high ground and just weren't able to do so. They actually got quite a bit done because they were splitting there. They had the Rasta poking away at the bottom, and that certainly helped them out. But I think they imagined that fight going a little bit better for them. It was a fight into Aegis though, so you have to keep that in mind. We'll continue looking at our items right now as we've got a Shiva's Guard on the Phoenix.
Middle tower is under
What has
attack.
Treant Protector picked up? Almost a mech. He's about 125 gold away from completing that. It's going to be a pretty late mech coming out just under the 30-minute mark. Chen still has his mech and a point booster, so working towards his Egg Scepter. Whatever has the Force Staff. Burning DD has finished his Bloodstone. He's up to 15 charges, but he's also got a BKB finished, but he still needs to deliver it. The recipe and the Mithril Hammer still sitting in his stash. As for our Dro, he's got Manta and BKB. So the Yasha built into a Manta, and AJ has added a Blade Mail on, as well as an Ogre Club.
Quick sprint.
I'm not sure what the Ogre Club is going to be. It could be...
Missing middle.
I don't think it's going to be a Halberd, although it could be. It could be a BKB, and I think it's most likely going to be a BKB, but it could be, you know, kind of an S and Y kind of build, something like that. Of course, Spirit Breaker benefits greatly from the strength. Of course, it gives him more health, it gives him more attack damage, but he also benefits from the Agi and the increased move speed and attack rate that is associated with the Agi components of the S and Y. We will have a smoke coming out from the Dire side here, as AJ uses his charge to the bottom lane but cancels it immediately. We have Exiled sitting in a Roche pit, so they obviously know something's up here, and they're going to run right by Sneaks and Lonely Boy. Sneaks will blink away, and that means they're most likely going to believe Lonely Boy is there. However, they do have vision of Sneaks, and they're going to go after him. They're going to be able to completely lock him down, and will Sneaks be able to get on there? He will! Oh my goodness, the tree armor just keeping Sneaks alive. I don't want to look away. It looks like he will get away. Supernova was able to go off as well. The Dro Ranger having to go back and defend here, as Exiled doing some sneaky plays with the Serpent Wards, trying to claim that bottom racks again. Unfortunately, not able to do so. But once again, how the hell does Sneaks survive with that little HP? That was less than 60. I forget what it was, but oh my goodness, it was low. That you have to give a lot of credit to Lonely Boy, though. He got that living armor off.
Double damage.
And he helped his Queen of Pain survive. I think without that living armor, the Queen would just be dead. Well, it looks like a Dire's going to go with a gem. And it's going to be flying out to whatever right now, helping them do a little bit of counter warding. I think they really feel like they're hemmed in with some Observer Wards. But switch on over to the Radiant Vision. This is it. Oh, there's one up at the top, but they only have vision of the runes. They don't really have any aggressive wards kind of locking down their opponent. As for the Dire, they do have those aggressive wards, which is going to really let them know where their opponents are going. With all of this, this gives you a ton of information, which is actually a little surprising that Radiant doesn't have those kind of... little cheeky play there. That Radiant doesn't have those more aggressive wards, because that's typically what you want going up against a Spirit Breaker as well. You want to have those wards closer and closer to, well, the point of the charge, or closer and closer to your opponent's base, so you can see, have a better idea of which direction the Spirit Breaker is charging, rather than just having an Observer Ward down and hoping that he charges by it. Well, it looks like we may have a push here. Maybe not. They're choosing not to go with this creep wave, and I think they're just going to back away. I don't think this is a good fight for them to have. Their mid lane is getting pushed, and bottom is slightly pushing in Dire's favor as well, as Storm Spirit was down there preparing the lane.
Fortunes change.
Exiled will check Roche, but he's not going to be up yet. I think he's just hiding in here. This is apparently his favorite spot to sit and hide. Dire's moving out together, using that gem to do a little counter warding. They're going to look and try and find some wards. They will find an aggressive ward, so Radiant trying to get those aggressive wards up, but unfortunately will get countered immediately. As for the Radiant, they have no idea about these Observer Wards. They may know that there are aggressive wards, but they probably don't know exactly where they are, and if they do, just choosing not to counter them. Exiled pushing aggressively in the bottom lane once again. He is getting charged this time, though. Spirit Breaker's the one hero that, you know, you may feel like you're okay, and then all of a sudden the Space Cow comes charging on in. He will get hit with the stun. He will get armored up. A Burning DD. with him in there, there's pretty much no chance that Exiled was going to be able to survive there. It did cost Burning DD the first charge of his BKB, and that's a little bit significant. Oh, Dro coming on in here. What is she looking to do? Maybe trying to pick off the Treant Protector, who's standing under an observer or a sentry ward. Do they have any other force of vision? Apparently they do. Oh, of course they've got the Venge just arriving there. So they will get the kill onto the tree. And you have to think that this game is definitely coming back to QQQ. Let's take a look at our gold graph. We're under 4K. It's about 3,000 gold lead now for YTD. My goodness, XP's actually QQQ favored, and they're going to get Roche on the back of this as well. QQQ's been playing some solid Dota, and it's allowed them to get back in this game. This time they're going to put the Aegis onto the Storm Spirit. The cheese will be held by the Spirit Breaker. Bring up our item chart here to make sure we all know what's going on. We've got Staff of Wizardry get picked up by Exiled. We've got an Ogre Club picked up by Sneaks, most likely building towards a BKB. We've got that BKB finished by Juggernaut. Still waiting to see what he's going to choose to go for next. He's got 2,900 gold on hand, but at this point in the game, he definitely is going to be wanting to save some buyback. He does have 1,200 surplus, so he could buy an item up around the 1,200 gold mark.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
What has Jugs got on the Phoenix? He's since picked up a Blink Dagger, got another 1,700 gold as well.
Tower is under attack.
And Lonely Boy has finished his has finished his mech. As for the Dire side, Shanks making some progress towards finishing that Egg Scepter. Whatever, of course, got the gem. Burning DD has the Aegis, but 3,900 gold on hand, so he's going to be thinking of purchasing an item soon, or at least he should be. Maybe he's just choosing to hoard all that gold.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Adros since picked up a Scotty and has another 3,600, now 3,800 gold on hand.
Has fallen.
And AJ hasn't really made any progression, but he does have 2,500 gold.
Take that as tribute.
I still think he's building towards a BKB with that Ogre Club. Well, we've seen plenty of times where YTD have tried to push uphill. Now it's QQQ's turn as they're going to start smacking away at this tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. It's going to force out the glyph. But now everyone on the Radiant side is pretty much getting in position to defend it. They are going to lose their tier 3 before they do engage. So now the racks are exposed. Will they engage? Who will engage? This is where you really would like to have a Blink Dagger on the tree. You do have a Blink Dagger on Exile that's going to jump on in, get the CC off onto Burning DD. Whatever, we'll use the swap, but the Shackles was still going off. Unfortunately, they're not able to follow up. In turn, it's actually QQQ that's able to follow up. They get the kill on Exiled, and YTD kind of steps back, plays a little bit more defensive, and loses their racks in the process. So really smart, structured play there coming out from QQQ. Not overextending, not getting too greedy. And, well, now they're sitting on the rack's advantage. They do have their range racks already destroyed in their bottom lane, so it is just the melee difference. But the melee difference is by far the melee racks is by far the most important. And on the back of that, Spirit Breaker able to finish his BKB. He did purchase all the way down to basically no gold. So he just has 230 reliable gold, which could play out going forward if he's getting close to... well, if he's in and around the buyback and needs to use it, he most likely won't have the gold to do so. That reliable gold is really important to manage. However, when you're able to get a really important item like the BKB, sometimes definitely worthwhile just purchasing past your reliable gold. But we now have a BKB on the Queen of Pain. And we're going to have a smoke coming out from the Radiant side. They're going to run immediately into Burning DD, who has pushed up past his team. And they're going to start with a kill onto the Storm Spirit. He does have the Aegis, so he will be back up. Exiled's going to go down. The Supernova's in the middle of everyone. Will they be able to right-click it down? I don't think they will. Not with the Overgrowth. Perfect play coming out there from Lonely Boy. Once again, now AJ's pushed up past. And this is a really awkward fight to catch everything that's going on. Looks like the Spirit Breaker is going to go down, but will he be able to get the kill on the Sneaks? Yes, Sneaks is not able to get the miraculous escape this time around. Question is, will Jugs and Lonely Boy be able to escape here? I don't think they will. Jugs is going to go down. They do have vision for Lonely Boy. Of course, that gem's still up on the Vengeful Spirit. And it's going to be a 5-man wipe. Triple kill for the Drill Ranger. GG gets called from Exiled. And what a comeback for Team QQQ. They were behind a lot. It was over 10,000 gold, the difference. They played some good, smart Dota, some good, just responsible Dota, I guess. They weren't really making those overextensions. They were playing nice. They were playing, like I said, just very structured, very, I don't want to say very safe. They did take some chances, but they were never too crazy. You know, you think back to early on in this game, Storm Spirit felt like he was so far behind. He had less net worth than the Phoenix. He was really struggling. In the end, I mean, his net worth isn't the highest, but he's the second highest gold per minute on his team, 543. That's basically just as much as the Juggernaut managed. He finished 11, 5, and 10. So Burning DD managed to crawl his way back in this game. He even had the Courier die with his items on it, so he wasn't able to get his Bloodstone early enough. He also had to use that buyback to keep the racks alive in that bottom push. Just a lot of big moments in this game kind of hinge around how Burning DD played, and he played a pretty damn good game despite having a little bit of a rough start. But so did YTD. You know, Lonely Boy kept Sneaks alive. I don't know how many times. Exile doing some cheeky plays trying to get some racks, but just didn't work out for them. Either way, Team QQQ will advance to the finals, which we're going to be covering here in just a minute. They're going to be going up against Team KW. I don't know who's on KW, but we'll find out in just a second. So I'm going to hop on into that lobby. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure you hit that follow button on twitch.tv/NizCast. If you're watching in game, head on over there and hit that follow button. But I'm sure the next game will be ticketed as well. Besides that, I've got a Twitter @NizCast, and I upload all the VODs to YouTube, which apparently I didn't make the other ones public from the other night, so I'm going to have to do that later after the cast. So they're not available. They're uploaded, but they're not available. And anyway, so you can head on over to youtube.com/NizCast, where I upload all the VODs of all the casts that I've done. But like I said, I got a lobby to hop on into, so hopefully you'll stick with us, and we'll be there in just a minute.